All right, good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another BNT session, leadership session with your coach, Favz. We are here. Thank you all for tuning in tonight on the Zoom, and those of you who are watching this broadcast by recording on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go to Mike Favors on YouTube, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you can get the notifications when we come on. We have several videos that is for your edification and your empowerment. So feel free to just look at the channel and keep following, all right? So with that being said, hey team, we are epic. Anybody feel epic tonight? Come on, let's just throw them up in the air. Wave your hands like you just don't care. We epic. And with that being said, we have a PowerPoint presentation for you, and I want to get right into it, okay? Don't forget to take some notes and be ready to ask your questions toward the end, all right? So with that being said, when you start your PowerPoint, be sure to start your PowerPoint from the beginning. Now, here we go. 7 steps to build an epic business. Now, I want you all to understand, this is not necessarily something that I've read per se. I do read books. I got books around me, but this is something that I have learned over the years, ladies and gentlemen. I've been in business, in this particular business in terms of network marketing and trading for 5 years, but I've been in the industry of network marketing, you all, multi-level marketing for 15 years. I've been in leadership for 23 years, you all. I've planted churches, built businesses, several businesses. We got several streams of income now. And so what I'm getting ready to share you are some of the tips and strategies that has helped me and still helping me. We built the team to over 300 in the last company, you all. We are right at knocking on the door of 100, and we've only been in this launch for 3 days, all right? So I'm telling you, we know what we're doing. So here's the thing, 7 steps to building epic. So number 1, the first thing I need you to understand, you all, is what we have to do is we have to make a decision. And when you're talking about making a decision, a lot of times people don't make this connection, but decision making is a skill set that has to do with your mindset, okay? So when you're talking about factors in making the decision, I want you to understand you got to come to a place. If you're going to build a business in this industry, you got to get fed up, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get to a point where you say, I'm tired of punching the clock. I'm tired of doing this. Whatever it is that you fed up with, I'm tired of not having enough money to meet the month. I'm tired of having to ask to go on vacation. I'm tired of trading time for money. I need you all to understand that whether you realize it or not, the next time you talk to a prospect or potential customer or client or business partner, you need to be able to explain to them to say, hey, the reason trading is so important for you is because you're a trader already if you trade time for money. So you're trading. It's just that we want to empower you to teach you how to come out of the matrix of corporate America and come over here to the matrix of self and business building and ultimately investor where you got unlimited potential, right? So number 1, you got to be fed up. Number 2 is you got to ask yourself, are you ready to do something about it? I'm seriously looking at a group of individuals who I believe, and those who watching by replay, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, you've come to a point to where it's not only good enough to see what's wrong, but now it's time to do something about it. And doing something about it positions you and your team and your business to grow and perhaps produce exponential large income, okay? Next thing is you want to give yourself reasonable amount of time, you all. Let me tell you something. When people come in and say, man, I give it 30 days to 90 days, that's not really long enough because your learning curve takes around that time. And we got several individuals who are now making $200,000-$300,000 a day trading, you all, a week trading. They giving me the testimonies and the screenshots because their learning curve is catching up with them. But I want to ask you a question. If you develop the now or never mindset, that says it's going to happen now, and you learn not to ever give up on your dream, is 1 year too much to ask for you to dedicate to the building of a business that will take care of you the rest of your life? See, I'm telling you all, I made up my mind to become a bank several years ago. And so the plotted movements, the things that you see my wife and I doing, the things that we're doing with our team, we're teaching you how to fire the middleman, which is the regular banking system, and become a bank unto yourself. Imagine if you could make that decision and come up with these factors that you fed up, you're going to do something about it, you're going to dedicate up to a year. And I'm going to tell you too, longer than that if you have to, all right? to develop the right mindset that you never lose, you only learn. Would that not be valuable for you? So here's the thing. Wise man that we always read, Napoleon Hill, says you have a brain and a mind of your own. Use it and research. Make your own decisions. Second thing you all in this piece is, number 2 is you got to take ownership of your decisions. So it's not only good enough to make a decision, but you now have to take ownership of that decision. And in this particular business, you all, you're going to have to take ownership because you're going to get some no's. I'm just going to tell you the truth. People can't see what you can see. So you're going to get some no's. You may even get some empty promises. Oh, I'm going to sign up, but then I won't sign. And then they won't. The end of the day, you all, I want you to understand that when you take ownership of your decision, a few things is going to happen, okay? Taking ownership of your decision means overcoming the fear of what they'll say. Overcome what they say. It doesn't matter if they say, oh, that's a scam, oh, that's this, oh, that's that. It doesn't matter what they say. It only matters what you believe and the fact that you fed up and you ready to do something about it because you know you're in an industry that you can put in the least amount of money and make magnanimous gains. Where on else can you use $99 a month and possibly make $1 million? You all got to get fed up. The next thing, when you take ownership of decisions, ladies and gentlemen, you don't worry about fear. Now, I could stay on this one point for hours because many people don't even realize that they're not fearful. They worry about worrying and about fear. Did you all hear how that compounded, that thought and statement? I'm worried all the time. Well, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this? Well, this didn't work. Hey, let me tell you something. You got to be calm, cool, and collected enough to know that we deal with technology, ladies and gentlemen. And when you build in a business, you're going to build with different emotions, attitudes. And I'm going to get to this a little bit later on in there of how to deal with all that, right? But you can't be worried about fear, the what if factor. You got to overcome that. Next thing you know, when you do that, you can take a risk. But here's the thing. You're not going to take an uneducated risk, ladies and gentlemen. I want to introduce you to a concept called informed risk. See, when we compile data and we go through the economics, whether it's macro or micro, and we look at the GDP and we look at the news when we're trading, you all, we do that so we can make an informed risk. We know everything we do is a risk. But your probability of making a better risk or taking a better risk, thus getting a better outcome, if you have some collected data, don't you think? So if I'm going to take a risk, the Bible even says, don't build a house unless you count up the costs. That's information. Information can change your situation. Well, that's a hashtag. Information can change the situation. Next thing you all, when you take ownership of the decisions, you always seek to follow a coach, a leader. Watch this now. Until you become the coach or leader. I'm going to say that again. Always seek to follow your coach or your leader. Another book resource for you, Richest Man of Babylon, George Clayson will tell you, if you're entering into any business, investment, you want to consult people who are already in that field or industry, who have fruits and proof of winning. And then, of course, you do that until it's time that you grow your team through what we're teaching you, and then you become the leader. But here's the caveat. You always consult your leader or mentor or coach, which leads me to the last piece. When you take ownership, try not to lose contact, even when you do grow your team with your coach or leader you want. Because watch this. Let's just say you was in that company 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years, 6, 7, 8 years, and next thing you know, you hit a ceiling. You maximize. And now you're looking for the next piece. Your coach and leader may have it for you. Mine does. When I get to a place, I call them, hey, what y'all doing? Because I know you're doing something. Oh, Faye, man, we doing X, Y, and Z. Come down here. Get on the plane. Come see us. Okay. That's taking ownership, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Robert Kiyosaki once said, your greatest wealth is your financial education, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I could really go deep on this and start teaching you all some stuff, man. and we'll get into it a little later about taxes and stuff like that. Because when you start getting your income and stuff coming in, let me tell you something. When I first had to pay the government taxes, a lot of people around me were like, man, that's messed up. And they were bragging, I'm getting $1,300 back. I'm getting $3,000 back on my taxes. Instead of me being negative, ladies and gentlemen, I use it as an opportunity and said, you know what, let me educate you all on what I do. See, if you really understood what's going on and you understood the Magna Carta that was signed back in the 1200s, I'm sure drop some knowledge on y'all today. If you understood that, you would understand that even from there all the way up to the Boston Tea Party, it was always about power and authority and taking the sovereign rule from one entity, which was the king or the family. So it had a lot to do. So those taxes removed and put people in a certain situation, okay? So when I tell you I had to pay $2,000 in taxes, they weren't thinking about how much I made for the whole year. Y'all understand what I'm trying to tell you? And the joy for me is that I get to pay taxes after I buy my assets, not before. Hear me, y'all. If you got an employee and you working your 9 to 5, I'm happy for you. But Uncle Sam gets his taxes first, and then you try to buy some assets. But that's why it's hard for you to get ahead. So when I learned this, it gave me an opportunity to educate them. And I'm telling you all right now, the third piece about building and scaling your business is to learn the education is key. Learn the industry of network marketing. If you're going to be in here, like I said earlier, give yourself more than 30 days. If you're doing it and you say 30 days, I'm out, then you're probably not going to give yourself time to catch up to the curve. Once again, it's not a year dedicated to this worth the rest of your life so I can fire my boss. So when I tell you that education, the greatest wealth is your financial education. When I learned that and I taught them that, some amazing things happened. What happened? The importance of business education hit the whole scene. Number one, it gives your business an awareness of who it is, which means when we do business with taxes in mind. So if I'm not getting the right tax breaks, which the laws are made for them, I need to get off that. I'm giving y'all too much sauce. Okay, when I make business moves and make investments based upon the level of tax write-off, tax deductions, that's how I'm able to keep my money. Now, the next thing happens when you get business educated, you all, is your business gets confidence, okay? Confidence to do what? Confidence to create and buy more assets. You see? Next thing you know, you get business security. Let me tell you something. When you go to a bank, whether you're trying to buy a church, property, or whatever, they're going to ask you how many units do you have? They're going to ask you for a statement. They're going to ask you, do you know the numbers of your financial stability? See, business education gives you that security. And then it'll also give you boldness, because I know some folks, including myself, will walk up in the bank and negotiate or walk into a deal and say, look, I'm the best thing you got going on. I can literally help you. We go do housing deals with our real estate company. I go in there and tell people, let me alleviate your pain and stress and distress. I can help you. Well, we don't want to do business with nobody who don't have an approval letter or something like that. I say, obviously, you don't know who you're talking to. Here's the proof of income right there. The whole scenario changed, y'all. Now I got boldness because we have not only money in the bank, but we also have investors backing the business. Okay, I'm done. The next thing that business education gives you, ladies and gentlemen, is a business. It improves your business. We're always in a state of learning. That's why education is so key, okay? Now, I want you all to get to this same place. So here's something, the number 4 thing that will help grow your business, and this works across the board. Anything you do, you share while you learn. Stoic philosopher by the name of Seneca the Younger, I'm talking about 4 BC, y'all, said, while we teach, we learn. And I know this is going against many of you all, the way you were taught in school. You got to learn it first and ingest it first, and then you could recapitulate, or you could regurgitate, rather. But let me tell you something. Let me show y'all something, man. The Harvard Gazette produced a document September 4th, 2019. Then they published an article that says students learn more by participating in a group setting and engaging in active learning exercises. Come on, somebody. In other words, by them reading, interpreting, and sharing with each other, They found that the test scores and ability to learn and understand increased by 70%. So when I'm giving you all strategy to say, most of you always say, well, I want to learn how to trade first, and then I think that'll get people in. No. That's an old way. That's an antiquated way of doing things. That's like saying, I want to go to school, get my degrees, and then come out and get a job. Well, if you in my generation, the millennials, and a little bit afterwards, you're going to find you went to school and got that degree and graduated and could not find a job. You had to move back home and live with your mama. Uh-oh. And some are still in that situation because we haven't realized that school don't teach you financial education. It teaches you to go get a job. No, that's not business. That's not what we're doing. Most of my friends who graduated from Harvard Business School, and I say that because I make friends with them. I actually took some courses out there, but they are taught, they teach them to create a job, create a business now so they can live off the fruits of it, not during retirement. Think of that concept, you all right? So here's the thing. The power of teaching while learning, number one, gives an increased learning curve. It increases your learning curve so that if you really want to get into it, you have a mindset to say, let me go find a team of traders that's going to trade with me. That would be a better way to say, you know what, I want to learn how to trade before I start going and inviting people. Okay, fine. But it's still establish the foundation. Say, let me go get 3 or 4, 5 people who I believe can trade so we can learn how to do this thing together and get this money together. You will see rapid growth. The next thing is, it's a great marketing strategy. Here's the reason why. Edgar A. Guest wrote a poem called, I'd rather see a sermon any day. I'd rather you show me than tell me the way. Now, what does that mean, you all? That means in terms of marketing, if you put out there that, hey, let me help you turn $20 into $500, all right? Who was it? I forget his name. But a billionaire once said that instead of if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you don't understand it, say yes and go learn it later, okay? So the marketing strategy of teaching while you're learning is say, hey, y'all know what, come learn with me, come grow with me, let's learn this together. It's a great marketing tool because people will appreciate the fact that you let them in on what you're doing at the time you did it. Because a lot of people want to get it first and then feed you, all right? The next thing it does is it promotes a positive culture. Y'all see, man, we have fun on these sessions. People talking, asking questions, people chiming in. And it provides a safe environment for you to be vulnerable and not be the smartest person in the room. Come on. So we learn that, y'all, the true essence of it is called a mastermind. Now you got to go read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There's a free PDF over in our private Facebook group, okay? That's where peer-to-peer learning, and of course it can be fun. See, when you get in a mastermind group and you submit to the mastermind group for that portion of time, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, what happens is all of you all come together and something amazing happens and we begin to produce. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm in some mastermind groups, you all, that just will blow your mind on the things that we talk about and come up with in terms of ideas and business ideas, okay? So that's the power of teaching while learning. Let me get on out here. So now, the 5th piece, and only have 7, so we almost done for tonight. The 5th piece is the power of empowerment, all right? Now, I want you, I'm not gonna call all these out, but I just want you to take a look at that picture right there on your screen. In the middle, you have empowerment, you have support and attitude and goals and performance and success, right? But I want you to understand that inside the word empowerment is in fact power. So when you begin to empower your team, through delegation, through teaching, through environment, through culture like this, something amazing happens. You begin to see the attitudes increase. You begin to see goals being achieved rapidly. You see success and things happen on a major level. Y'all, this is how you build a team. This is how you build a business. And once again, y'all, I haven't had a regular 8 to 5 since I was 22, 20 years old. It was at Benedictine High School in Detroit. That was my regular 8 to 5, okay? where I worked and traded in it. Everything else was a business and starting doing stuff like that. And I'm gonna be 43, so that's like 20, 21, 22 years, okay? So I've been in entrepreneurship that long. The spirit of entrepreneurship is serious. But you wanna empower your people, okay? Number six is problem solving. Now, I want you to really take a look at this screen, because there is, and this is the easiest and best way I could teach this, and I need to come out of here so I can see something, because I gotta minimize this so that I can really see what's going on, okay? Now, I want you all to really see this right here, okay? Problem solving. If you were to proverbially put yourself in the middle of this circle, I want you to understand something, that in business, you all, 60% of managing your business is being able to develop the skill set to solve problems. So then what do? We start with identifying the problem. When we have a problem, it's okay to have a problem, but as long as we stay level-headed and we stay in a place to where we don't get overtaken by the problem, then we go on to step two, which is to analyze the problem to where you come up with a solution. You see, many times in my business, in terms of not this one, but when I'm running my personal business, anything that my wife and I work, we always tell people, before you come to us with a problem, go brainstorm, relax for a moment, take a deep breath, and come up with a few solutions. So if you then bring the problem, we already have a few solutions that we can analyze. From the analyzing of the solution, we then go into the implementation of the solution that we see is best for the vitality, growth, and continuation of the company. And then the last step, what do? We then monitor the response of the implementation. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that's why you have to be flexible. I coined the word several years ago called the gospel of flexibility, which simply means there is good news in being flexible. If you're flexible and something goes wrong, you won't snap, crackle, and pop, ready to throw the towel in, ready to just give up on everything, because guess what? If that's the case, you won't last in not only this industry, but any industry, because statistics say it takes 3 to 5 years to get a business off the ground. Another 2 or 3 so that it can run without you being there. So when we talk about the whole notion of having multiple streams of income, and I'll teach you all this later, the question is, do we start a business or do we buy a business? Understanding that a business is a system that has the ability to make money for you. I just dropped a real nugget on y'all right there. A true business, you all, is a system. Banks don't loan money to a vision or a person with a good charm. They loan money to people with a system that has an ability to make money through that system. You can make the best burger in the world, but if you don't have a system to put those burgers out, you'll never be McDonald's or Burger King, that's for sure. All right? So problem solving, you all, develop the skill set and learn how to analyze the problem and implement the best solutions, and then monitor them, okay? And then last but not least, you all, we want to be able to duplicate the system that you come up with. Remember in slide 3 or 4, I was talking about always follow your mentor, your coach, until it's time for you to coach, but always ask and consult them. You all, that is a part of our ecosystem. That is a part of the system that we have in place here in this company and in the business and the team that we're growing. And so when you grow this, it's a few steps that you want to take. So let's write these down, and then you can ask. I'm going to come off here and we're going to be able to go up a question. So in order to duplicate a system properly, these are the things that I have learned. I'm not saying that this is the only way, but this is an effective way that my wife and I, we've been able to be effective and have great business. Number 1, imitate and follow. Once again, you can read the Bible. Some call it the good book, however you read it. But it says, imitate us as we imitate God, Christ. So when you have leaders that are effective and that has an ability to show you and say to you, I am an expert because I have fruit to prove what I've been doing, it's okay to follow them. Now hear me, they're not perfect, which means you gotta leave them room to make mistakes. But if for example, with our trades, if we win, if I call out signals and our team and we take trades and we win 4 trades out of a week, That's a good trading week unless you over leverage yourself, unless you try to be greedy and you don't follow the system. The system says you never risk 1 to 3% of your account. Okay? So if you do that, then you will be good. Your system is duplicatable. Imitate and follow the leader. Now, the second thing is learn and incorporate. What does that mean? I should have said learn while incorporating. But here's the thing. As you learn, you want to try to develop the habit of incorporating what you learn at least 3 days of learning it. And that's long way out. Now, I want to share something with you. Many people go to conference after conference and they wonder why their situation never changes. Shameless plug here, but if you go to MikeFavz.com, I have a book that's called The 8 Laws of Implementation. They go to conference after conference, lecture after lecture, sessions after sessions, and they get all of this information and they wonder why their situation never changes. It's because they have not learned how to incorporate, thus implement what they have learned. That is a very important skill set to your system. Is your system simple enough to be duplicated where people can incorporate it and apply it immediately? I just said so. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is to make changes along the way as you see fit. Now, this is going to be important because the way you start off, okay, you have to adjust some things. I like to call that, I think about it like a synthesizer, or if you're in a live concert and you got live microphones, you got to have a tech or a sound technician, because sometimes the mics go flat when it get hot and other things happen when it get cold, it goes sharp. So you got to have somebody back there tweaking and adjusting the sound so the house can be balanced. So if you want your company, your business to be balanced, you got to learn how to make changes along the way. Next, we have make sure the final strategy is simple, ladies and gentlemen. You want to, when it comes to building a business now, okay? When you want to build a business that's scalable, why do you think you can go anywhere on the planet and you go to McDonald's? A Big Mac gonna taste like a Big Mac nowhere. I don't care where you go. It's gonna taste like that Big Mac. That Whopper gonna taste like a Whopper. Why? It's because they've developed a simple turnkey strategy that is duplicatable even with high school kids, you all. Okay? And then last but not least, y'all, duplicate the strategy in your team. That means once you've all come together and we perfected it, now we can build other leaders. So the goal of this is to build the team and then empower your leaders to build the team and empower them to build the team, so that everyone has an opportunity to have their own business that they're leading. And let me tell you something, a collaboration of business, you all, is called enterprise. Just say something again. So if you want to go from a small business owner to a big business owner and then to a franchisable enterprise, you can follow some of these steps, ladies and gentlemen, all right? So with that being said, that concludes this session for tonight on 7 steps to build an epic business. Now, here's what I want to say. If you have any questions, or if you all are interested in joining the Wealth Engineers team, number 1, get back to the person who shared this video with you. Number 2, if not, then just click the link below and we can work with you. You can join the Wealth Engineers that way, all right? Thanks again for watching.